how could AI benefit our future?
Check it once.
Right? This is what is given to you. We are telling you that AI can do A, B, C, D, E. But let's go to the future, right? What would you want AI to do for you? Okay, what kind of recommendations you want? Okay, so there's a quality improvement that you would like it to see. Today you may be getting some recommendations, but you are not sure of how qualitatively good it is. Very good. Improving quality. Okay, you are going to give a business context and you are saying that here is how my business perform. How could my business perform better tomorrow? Okay, you want AI to be a consultant for you. Okay, interesting. I'm sure the big four companies will have a lot of hardware looking to this. Okay, so how can AI today play a role of wearing different hats? Right? How can it think like a product manager? How can it think like a quality person? Very interesting. Alright? Any other thing that you want the AI to do tomorrow? Yeah, one is qualitative improvement, the second is accuracy itself, right? So one of the first things I did with AI earlier in the start with this is I asked AI to create a speaker profile for myself. And the output it gave, I had a split personality. Right? I said, this doesn't look like me. Right? So it's sometimes too good, right? It doesn't even know. You might feel happy, but it will not necessarily be true. Right? So accuracy is also important. So this is where the journey is going to be. And why do you think AI is all about technology? But there is something more that we have to be mindful of. Some things are changing as we speak. We often use AI to say what would take me months, today takes days or even minutes. So speed is something that we are all enjoying. It is disrupting our work patterns. Right? We can plug in AI to do different things for us. But I want to shift the lens from just technology to look at how can people leverage technology better. What is the role of I and AI, right? And that's what I want to spend some time with. The future of AI will depend not on algorithms alone, but how well we invest in human capability. Human capability in terms of skills, judgment, ethics, and leadership. Let this four words stay with you. We'll come back and revisit it in the point. A big shift is happening. Be it in the world of work, education, or governance, AI has made inroads in every way we think. The tech has moved from automation to augmentation. It is helping us to do things differently. AI is already embedded in our daily decision making, from hiring and healthcare to governance and education. I'm sure each of you have different use cases of what's happening around this. And in what's happening in practice, right? In the engineering context, we all write code, some of us write code. What's happening for the code that we write? When you look at GitHub Copilot or even Amazon Code Whisperer, engineers are not getting replaced. So if you're feeling that your jobs are at risk, well, some jobs will be at risk, but not everybody's job is at risk. What is it doing? They're helping programmers code 30 to 40% faster. How is it happening? AI has become master at creating the boilerplate. Creating the framework on which you want to code. But humans should focus on the architecture and logic. It's very nice to say, build your website through Lovable. But after the website is built, it's not functioning as per what you need. Can you go and fix it? Do you understand how the code flows? If you can't understand it, don't put up a website with Lovable. You will be in deep trouble tomorrow. Right? The, the heartbreak that many software developers we had when we started coding 25 years ago or 30 years ago is we used to have a huge syntax errors while we were in the learning phase. But that's not troubling us, right? Syntax errors are taken care of generally by the better programming tools that we have. But what's shifting is the need to design and do better prompting, right? That's where our shift is going towards. So productivity gains come not from AI writing code, but from engineers knowing what to ask and what to reject, right? So that's where you need to know when to use AI. Is a very important distinction that every one of us have to do. What else is happening? What's happening in operations? In the world of manufacturing, you are able to do better predictive maintenance. How? Sensor data is going to help you train your ML model to predict downtime, right? So this way, you can reduce your downtime by 20 to 30% by preventive maintenance. So that's where I want to come to focus on why human capital matters, because this is the focus of why we are all together today. AI amplifies human capability, judgment, ethics, and creativity matter. These three things, unfortunately, are not something that you can give away for AI today. Yes, they can make nice Ghibli images, they can write nice poems for you, but that will only be superficial. If you want any heart-touching things to happen, it will come only from deep experience, right? And how do humans shape the outcomes in the AI world? By designing them, we all have to look at aspirational goals where we can design the AI of tomorrow. We should look at how do we give them the right data. We should interpret the outputs that the AI gives, right? When our children are small, we are very happy even if the child narrates a poem very incorrectly. But we are just happy that it's at least saying a few words. But you can't be that happy when you have a 16-year-old coming and doing the same bad narration, right? So we need to understand that our AI models are somewhere like that kindergarten child and treat them as kindergarten child only and not take them as teenagers. And finally, humans have to make decisions based on what the AI tells us. And we should also understand where AI fails without humans. The models become biased based on how training data is given to them. You give them bad data, it will end up going in a very wrong direction. A best case is the facial recognition systems. Right? We have built technology where the models have been trained on Caucasian male data sets. So the face recognition goes down when you have people with darker skin tones. And engineers had working models, it's good prototypes. It works in certain conditions, but it's not necessarily universal solutions. And what is it that I would like to say for all the engineers here today is a technically accurate model can still be socially wrong. Right? I think I'd like to stop here and just play one short video and just highlight, what is it that we should be worried about. And then I would love to get on to the panel discussion. Just give me a minute.
ChatGPT works best with detailed prompts, but I hate typing them. So instead, I dictate them.
Waymos are up and running again in San Francisco. Oregon Blackout stopped the robo-taxis in their tracks throughout the city. Deirdre Bosa digging into what it means for the robo-taxi rollout more broadly in today's Tech Check. Deirdre?
Hey Kelly, so let me just show you. These are scenes from Saturday night in San Francisco. You might have seen them on social media or scenes just like this. So you essentially had Waymos stalled in intersections across lots of different streets, backing up traffic across different parts of the city. Now the vehicles, they're designed to handle dead traffic lights and keep moving even without a wireless signal, but when multiple systems failed at once, the response was maximum caution and that quickly turned into gridlock. Now, it all signals just how high the bar is for Waymo. It's essentially pioneering a new driverless system under full regulatory and public scrutiny. So the tolerance for error, as we've seen, is close to zero. That kind of pressure has really shaped Waymo's strategy, Kelly, and it highlights the different route that Tesla has gone. It is trying to build autonomy that behaves more like a human, one that can improvise amid ambiguity, like a blackout. For example, Tesla, under its technology, may read eye contact, edge forward, make a judgment call without perfect signals. And that way may come with safety trade-offs because it's asking the system to make judgment calls with less certainty. If that works, it can scale faster. Now, Waymo has momentum right now. It's raising new capital at a $100 billion plus valuation. It's expanding to lots of new cities, as you can see on this map here. The company says that it is focused on rapidly integrating the lessons that were learned over the weekend, but this incident really does put a spotlight on whether scaling means careful city-by-city expansion that Waymo has been working on, or systems, more like the one that Elon Musk is working on, that can adapt in real time and behave more like a human.
So all is not as bad as what you saw in San Francisco last weekend, right? There are some bright spots as well. And these are some 4 exciting companies that I work closely with. And I just want to leave you to kind of start thinking about saying that how can the AI of tomorrow be very different from where it is today? Right? One company is Brainsight AI, an amazing health tech company started by my friend of 16 years ago, right? Amazing entrepreneur. They have looked at simple things. How can you take functional MRI scans that is prevalent and easily available today? There are hundreds of machines even in India. How can you take fMRI scans and look at the mind better? It's helping today for early detection of psychotic disorders, right? You don't have to be at the entry point of Alzheimer's or dementia or any of these diseases, but can you start recognizing some of these trends earlier on, right? So Brainsight AI is amazingly doing well across the world. They've been able to raise a lot of money and do some very good promising research. The second is a company called BrandVelocity.ai. I'm on the board of directors of BrandVelocity.ai. What do? They look at the agentic AI powered brand intelligence and campaign platform. They understand that orchestrating of your social media outreach can be done better if you understand them at algorithmic way. And as ma'am rightly said, I don't want to do boring routine work, right? Can you kind of break out this boring routine work and then make machines do it? Third, Jobber Dash. This is an amazing startup done by my fellow alumni from IIM Bangalore. What do? They empower teams to hire blue-collar workers faster with AI-powered sourcing, verification, and onboarding. Again, extremely boring job, extremely back-breaking job to hire blue-collar workers. So they have built complementary tech to make all these 3 things happen faster. sourcing, verification, and onboarding. Right? And finally, Apta.ai. I am sure you all have used reading agents in our Zoom meetings, right? Or our Google Meets, right? So they come, they kind of do notes and all that stuff. Apta.ai is a very interesting company where they brought in role-based agents. Today you can have a product management agent who will come back and act as a product manager sitting in the call. You can have the output of this go into your own Jira or any of your software systems that you have internally, from where you can process the output of the meeting, right? So a single person can act like as if he is a 10-member team by how he grooms these agents, and Apta.ai is a very powerful platform that's created, right? Built by a very small team here in India. And all these four are very amazing AI startups that I'm excited about, and I hope to see how they will evolve. And don't just get impressed with what happened with Waymo's getting stalled. I'm sure that they will also evolve, and we will have at last a very boring job of driving in cities like Bangalore, where they are frustrated being on the road, can be at last given over to AI issues. Thank you very much, and we'll just dive into the panel discussion. Ma'am, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful and thought-provoking address. Your perspectives on governance, policy, and technology have deeply enriched this gathering and reminded us that true leadership lies in creating systems that uplift people and society. The audience is truly blessed to have received your wisdom and guidance today. So, great leaders don't just shape policy, of course, they shape possibility. So please give a big round of applause. So now we'll be having a panel discussion. Give us 2 minutes of time. Now, I would like to request the moderator and all the panelists to please have their precious seat on the dais. First and foremost, I'd like to invite Dr. Sridhar Prabi Shetty, sir. So please be on the stage, sir. Give a big round of applause. I'd like to request Dr. Sanjeev, sir, to offer a floral bouquet. Sanjeev, sir, ISHOD, sir, to offer a floral bouquet to the Sridhar Prabi Shetty, sir. Please give a big round of applause. Now, I would like to request panelist Dr. Sanjeev Srivastava sir to have his precious presence on the dais. I would like to request Sarvesh sir to please offer him a floral bouquet. Now it's a great opportunity for me to welcome Dr. Nagaratna ma'am, Professor NNSIU, on the dais. I would like to request Sharda ma'am to offer a floral bouquet. Kindly please ma'am. Now I would like to request the panelist, Mr. Prerit Chandra, NITK Surathkal, founder and CEO, Poet Technologies LLP. Kindly have your presence on the dais, sir. I would like to request Manjunath sir to offer a floral bouquet for the panelist. Give a huge round of applause. So now I'd like to request panelist Dr. Bhaskar Rajkumar sir, Director, ARGTA, ARK, AI and Robotics Technology Park, IISc. I'd like to request Sayed sir to offer a floral bouquet. I request the moderator and all the panelists to have your precious seat on the dais. Now, I kindly request the moderator to take over the dais.
Thank you so much, organizers, and I hope I'm audible. Thank you. So we have eminent experts from across disciplines with us today. We have a medical doctor working on innovating with AI and other technologies for better healthcare. And we also have a law professor who looks at cyber law and the manifestation of law, legal lens on how AI and other technologies evolve. We also have Mr. Sanjeev with experience on running COEs of leading art park and also seeing many innovations come by. And Prerit Chandra, who spent 2.5 decades being in the world of IT and now working with academic institutions and kind of enabling the capacity in this sector. So if I could start with you, Sanjeev, right? I mean, can you kind of put the gaze on how is AI entering into campuses? What is the impact it's having on the skilling journey of students? How is the industry seeing this? And how engaged is industry in this process?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say actually, nowadays, if you see, AI is becoming the part of our life. Wherever you go, it is required. You have to take the journey with AI. We are thinking whatever. Faster than that, we are trying to get the output from using the AI. Okay. So to bring this AI in our habit, lot of things, lot of investment in ourselves we have to do. We have to actually learn how to make use of that, how to skill even AI to give the better answer. A lot of things are there. Even we are saying AI, but we cannot rely blindly on those things. For that, we need a lot of investment. So you were talking about industry and academia, how they are bringing AI. I think everyone is trying their best, but ultimately, the AI, what need is accuracy and accountability to be set in the campuses. And for that, each and every input is very much important what you are doing. As you mentioned, if you are going to give the bad kind of system you are going to provide, it will give the bad one. Who will decide? The academia. mainly. That is the role of academia to set any context for the industry or for the society. If anything, academia will train better through their students. I think AI will give really good answer. Even industry don't know what to use. They come to academia to learn how to make use of AI in their own industry. So the role of academia is really good and it's challenging. You know, we always think industry should come to us, then we should work for them. No, I think academia should take the leadership. I want to work for XYZ industry. I have the particular expertise in my campus. Can I ask industry to go there and visit and see their workflow and what expertise we are teaching or we are having in the campus students, we can implement to those industries so that it will give really fruitful outcome. That the tone academia need to set. Okay. Without that, I don't think any AI or anything will get improved. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanjeev. Professor Nagatna, if I could ask you, right? Today, most AIs appear to be black boxes, right? What's the legal lens on an audit log of how AI is processing data? And more importantly, is the AI output explainable? Right? And where does the law say before we all embrace AI every walk of life?
Okay, so it's always mismatch between the speed at which technology changes, develops, versus how the law changes, and speed at which the law changes. So we are in that juncture now. When it comes to every legal system, not just India. And when it comes to India, as of now, we are trying to extend the existing law framework. Not any cases have reached the courts, but still, when this question comes on as to how do we look at this new scenario, where AI is involved, and as Professor was mentioning, it's all about accuracy, accountability, and when this is not there, the question of law arises, then who's responsible? So I know this is not a question that we're trying to address. Every time there's new scientific innovations, technological changes impacting society, law had to address this question. So should we have a new branch of law, new ways of interpreting the existing laws? And end of the day, it's usually the combination of the two. So we're trying to, on one hand, come up with new sets of laws. So a lot of committees are established, looking at how the new law framework should be. At the same time, existing law is something that we're also trying to extend with this scenario. So that is where we are at this stage.
Very nice. Dr. Bhaskar, if I come to you, we have had long conversations over a period of many months now on the evolving standards of healthcare data and the healthcare systems that can be built over this data. And there's a lot of catching up to do between Indian and other systems. Right? Maybe not even catching up, they're all in different journeys towards doing these. So as a trained doctor, I'm sure a lot of things go into your mind when you make a decision of how to treat a patient. What should be the benchmarks on which you can evaluate the AI solutions that come around you? I mean, what has been your thinking around this?
That's a very interesting question. So, even before I answer the question, to lighten up the mood, people seem to be very tired. Whenever I'm called to speak, people say it is the most difficult session after lunch because people tend to sleep. I say it is the best session. Okay. Guess why?
I don't know.
You get very few questions. So, yeah. Now that has been done, so to answer your question, Sridhar, especially when we are looking at how translatable or how trustworthy any AI tool is, especially when we are answering a question of life. Okay, so, be it, for example, you showed the Waymo's example. Very similar is the healthcare example. So when I'm touching a patient, patient's life is in my hand. Should I depend upon a tool which is running on a black box, or should I not? To what extent the outcome it is giving should be considered, should not be considered. If it is considered, who is responsible? Who is accountable for that? Right? So if I look at ChatGPT, put in my prompts, take the query, take the response, whatever it's given, decide upon that and treat a patient. Now everything from ChatGPT I picked up and treated the patient, from diagnosis to treatment. Will ChatGPT be accountable or will Dr. Bhaskar be accountable? That's a big question, very big question, right? So now, to the extent my knowledge goes, doctor is accountable. So I am the one. To all possible reasons, till date, any artificial intelligence tool is only an enabler. It is not a decisive factor. So you cannot use, be it legally, not legally. If you ask me as a doctor, I should not be using any of these technologies as a last point diagnostic tool at all. That is where human intelligence comes up. That's the first part of your question. Second part of your question you asked me is, you use a lot of variables while you're diagnosing. Very true in engineering factors also. When I'm designing something, you consider a lot of variables. Most of these systems somehow tend to function linearly. Even though you run on CNN, which understands and network like your brain is networked, etc. It all depends on what is the data you're feeding in at the end of the day, right? So, is it encompassing all possible data available? And also, what is taught during your medical practice is your examination of the patient does not start by looking at his records. It starts from the point patient enters your room. The way he is walking, way he is looking, how does his hair look, how is his dressing, how does he talk, is he able to look at you, is he not able to concentrate. All these things matter, which AI does not look at. AI is only responding to what you feed in. So unfortunately, you cannot totally depend upon AI today. There might be a day in the future where it might be able to assist much better. At this point of time, the amount of dependence on the AI is directly dependent to the kind of data what we are feeding. How good a master I am to AI is what is determined.
So you say that if I put all my health records on Grok and I ask it to analyze, and depending on it gives a good analysis or a bad analysis, you're telling me I should not be super happy or super sad.
So it does a wonderful job, right? So no doubt about it. There are multiple bots today, Grok or Medium, all possible things. You give all your records, it does a wonderful job. Not many of us doctors might be able to do such a good job if you give all the records, because our mental capacity is only so much. It democratizes the whole knowledge, what is available. But should you completely depend upon it is the question. I would say no. It gives me a guidance. I might use that data to figure out what I might have missed out. See, if you come with 100 records, I don't have the time to look at all the 100 records, but that can do that. That system can do that. It can give me a gist and saying these are the things which is very important you need to focus upon, which will guide me to walk in that direction. There might be other indicators what I need to focus upon. That is where your human-centered design really comes into play. I have to look at it from that angle.
So a human in the loop is inevitable, right? So Prerit, I come to you, right? I mean, of course, you worked in the industry for a couple of decades, in the IT industry. Now you interact a lot with the academia and students. How many disciplines are at least thinking about being that human in the loop when it comes to this decision making? Are there enough doctors trying to understand how do I coexist with AI? Are there enough lawyers trying to upskill themselves and understand how can I be the human in the loop? Where do you see the people from different disciplines adapting to the AI world?
Yeah, that's a good question. Basically, I would just want to start this with one simple thing to where you all can feel the importance of AI. I think somebody said sometime back that fire after fire or even before fire, the most happening innovation will be AI. And why it is so? Because if there are like thousands of novels and you want to know how many ants are used in this 1,000 novels, you can just put a prompt and you can get it within a second. Even all people here cannot count it in days. So the processing is immense. Okay. Now, as we asked, you rightly asked Sandhya, that what is the proportion things will start turning to real use? Before, I think it was only 5 to 10% uses a year back. People used to prompt or some people used to ask some simple questions and get some. It was used most like Google. So it was a better default prompt used to be Google. Now, as ma'am said, she was trying to create itineraries, where to go, how to go, and it was telling you what exactly happened. Slowly, I think it was from 10%, I think the industry is moving toward 30, slowly it will move to 50, and slowly it will move to 70. And days are not far when you are driving, will be autonomous, most of the work. I have seen AIs in China. The security is taken off. So there is no more security in any big companies, any big industries. There is one single person sitting with a system and monitoring everything with camera. And the building was like 17, 18 floors. Exactly at any point of time, any particular cubicle, what is happening, they can find out. So things are moving in that direction. Even most of the Chinese people, when they buy train tickets, they don't show any tickets. They just show their face. They're just walking. Even our Digi Yatra, it's just something similar. So those things are moving in. Will there be a person sitting after Digi Yatra? Depends on the accuracy. If there are more and more flaws happening, there will be people sitting after that also. Somebody will actually see you and validate that you are that person or not. So things will move in slowly, incremental way, but you cannot deny it. So the best way is to get to that ladder, learn. As quickly as you move to that ladder, you will be better off. And mind it, I would repeat again, Wi-Fi, fire, smartphones, and definitely AI are in the same league. I think AI is maybe the first one in the whole league. Okay, so if I just say that how many people are there in this room, probably somebody will take some time to read, AI will tell you immediately. So, and that is just vision we are talking about, voice. I can speak one language. AI can speak 50 languages, 100 languages in my voice at this point of time. Me not being there. I can be an expert in sir's field, I can be expert in madam's field without even knowing a single word of it. So days are not far when we will struggle for our own identities, and we have to be really, really careful how we want to put humans in the loop to see and leverage most of it, not get mesmerized and hallucinated, which is the most important problem.
Thank you. Thank you. Sanjeev, if I could ask you, and I then want to talk with Bhaskar as well on this. As people who have seen a lot of innovators innovate using AI in different domains, where do you see is the adoption journey of the end use customers, right? What's their journeys like? How comfortable, uncomfortable they are about different issues that we discussed, about explainability, about sustainability, accuracy, and the quality of output as well. What do you see that's happening among different startups and the users who are adopting these AI tools?
See, if you talk about the innovator journey and end user productivity, you are trying to concentrate using AI.
Correct.
So, if you see, innovator need to consider many things. He taking the product to the society. One thing is that he has to imagine what kind of market will be there, what kind of expectation will be there from the user, what kind of, how he can even detect the defect while taking the journey from idea, like we say in scientific language, TRL 1 to TRL 9. So 1, 2, 3. So every stage, if he is going to use AI, at least he will quickly understand where he has to fix the supply. It should not be like TH 1 to 1 to 9, but he forgot some of the thing at the TR level 3. So those kind of support what AI is giving nowadays, and people are making use of that, I think it should expedite the innovation journey very fast, and it will also give satisfaction at each and every level. People have to understand where the defects are. People have to understand where I have to go for the certification. All those things, I think AI is really helping. I just want to give you an example, just little bit away from the AI. One thing, when I was doing PhD in IIT Delhi in nanotechnology, I'm telling you the journey how innovation came. And that time when we were going for any instrument, even within the department, we were not getting the instrument to do the research, right? And sometimes that culture was not there to sharing the infrastructure. Like we were talking during the lunchtime, how shared infrastructure is helping to the education. And that time I was also representing all the PhD students of IIT Delhi because of leader. I was their leader. Okay? So I realized if something would be there where I can know which machine is there in which room. I'm talking about the room, in particular institute, particular department, with particular in charge. I can easily connect, okay, when I need, or also I can know whether the instrument is available, working, not working, or under repair kind of journey. I start thinking what should be there in the country. And that time just nearby, NPL was there, EMS was there, and I was working in material science, so we were doing this XRD, TEM, SEM kind of instruments. Okay. Then I thought, okay, something should be there. After completing my PhD, I could not do more on that part except talking to the board of governing body, okay, we should open up that. And that time culture started open day kind of things in IIT. IIT started, okay, at least we will open for our own student, we will know, people will know what is there in the campus. Nobody was knowing what is there in next, this one go kind of thing, okay. And when I joined IISc Bangalore in 2012, of course, I was in premier institution and also in premier department, I can say, where I work Center for Nanoscience and Engineering. I started meeting with the various distinguished people from the government of India, and one day time came. So just think, 2005 I realized the need. 2017 I got a time to convince a person in government of India there should be a platform, and that was that day some visit was there from President of India in our department. So I just convinced there should be something in the country where people can know about the facility. Why not we should think about, we are doing in every conference, networking of people, like today we are doing networking, right? We know each other. We are doing everyone expertise, but do we know what kind of instrument I have in my lab, or what kind of facility you have in your department? We don't know. And we don't get time even to talk about. Really, we just explain our research paper, but we never talk about the facility and infrastructure. So I just talked, and next day that person went to Prime Minister's office and told a person is having some kind of idea and he wants to make a platform where everyone can know where the facility is available in the country. And I got a message, yes, we should make. I don't know how many of you are aware about the istem.gov.in. Indian Science Technology Engineering Facility Map, which I created in 2018, and it was finally launched by the Prime Minister of India, which is giving the overview of the machine where it is available. Currently you can go and just see, in fact you can book those instruments whatever you want, which day you want. So that kind of journey always required when you are talking about innovation to the productization. So you have to keep thinking about that, keep communicating your points, and that way that ISTEM came in this one, and nowadays it is a mandate by the government of, Ministry of Finance. Whoever is purchasing the equipment will have to put in this one so that any person can make use of it. And that way, I want to tell you one more thing we did, like software, it's very costly. Nobody in private institution can purchase. I thought, why not that software will be put in the cloud and allow any student or any academia to make use of that. Okay? Those things we put in the cloud, and currently I am very much happy with the software I put in the cloud through IISc Bangalore. A person sitting in Jharkhand, a person sitting in the village of the Bihar is using at no cost. Okay, so that kind of innovation, that kind of requirement is always there, and that took me, why I am telling that example, 2005 to 2017, 12 years it took to put me in the picture of that idea. But now, the AI is in front of you, which can be done in 12 minutes. So that's the things I think I wanted to cover. Thank you very much.
That's fab. Exactly, Dr. Sanjeev, and I would like to congratulate what Indian Science has done. I remember it was many years ago when the first science, the open day started in Indian Institute of Science. I was free and I ended up walking to it, and just the pleasure of sitting and seeing a rocket being launched in IISc campus was so phenomenal. And though I have not yet had the chance to go to Sriharikota and see any of our launches, but that itself has been very, and I think congratulations to how we have pioneered the ability of looking at the equipments that Ministry of Finance has and how it can be accessible to all. I'm actually part of another organization where we are promoting open labs, and I would definitely love to come back, spend time with you and look at how we can make it more accessible to everyone. And I think that's a fabulous input that you have given. Dr. Bhaskar, if I could come to you with the same question of saying that where is the innovation adoption journey, right? I mean, how are the users seeing it? Where does all that we discuss here, where does it manifest in their own thought processes?
So when we look at the users of AI, so let's categorize them at what level we are. Right? Okay. Quick question to all of you. How many of you used any AI in the past 1 week? Quick raise of hands. You guys did not use? You don't have a phone? All of us. How many of us use today? Good numbers. Right? How many of us use in the past couple of hours? See, that's your users, right? So we have different categories of users. Even here, if you look at, you have faculty, you have the photographer raised his hand, you have students raised their hand. So the users, when we say AI, is very different as compared to many other tools and technology, right? If it's a laparoscopic instrument which we use, if you ask the user, is very defined. It's a laparoscopic surgeon. That's not the same case when we say AI. The user persona varies based on what AI is used for. It really depends upon how knowledgeable the user is to use AI. That's the first part. So keeping the first part aside, you said adoption of AI based on users. Adoption is also very dependent upon how am I going to use this. Right? So for me, as a doctor, I would rather look at how can I treat my patient. If I wear my innovator hat, there are multiple levels which I want to look at. BrainSet AI, wonderful example what you quoted. Benjamin is a very good friend. Way they have been using AI is one way where most of the innovators today are leading the path. Machine learning, using images to identify a lot of these diseases, right? So that's where adoption is. Today, a lot of adoption in healthcare or across the spectrum is happening on image-based analysis of whatever data available to come up with a solution which can solve problems in hand. In your BrainSet AI case, how can I identify brain disorders much earlier? Similarly, you have a lot of applications where we're able to identify cancer, we're able to identify tuberculosis, Cure.ai, a lot of us have heard of. All these guys are doing amazingly well. Miramide for breast cancer. So all these things are mainly ML and single modal, unimodal kind of analysis. That's where majority of adoption is at the innovator level. Now, field level adoption of all these kind of technologies. How is the field level adoption of these kind of technologies? I would say that is where the minimal adoption is really happening. So taking back the example of BrainSet AI, field level adoption for BrainSet AI would be a doctor. Right? Am I using it in my everyday clinical practice? Few of us, yes. All of us, no. Unfortunately, what is happening is, when we see a mass like this, raising our hands and saying, I'm using AI, we believe there is mass adoption, which is not true. We are not using the full potential of the technology yet. Using ChatGPT, yes, it is AI, but are you using the full potential? This is like getting a doctor and making him sweep the floor. If you have a doctor, come, get him and make him do the surgeries. Use your AI wisely, only then I will say adoption is happening equally across the board.
Thank you so much, and I think it's very interesting to see what do we want AI to do for us, right? Is it an entertainment tool? Is it a low-paid researcher that we want it to be? Is it a travel planner? Or there can be something more that can happen, right? I think this is a journey that we'll all live to see in the coming years and decades. With the permission of the panelists, I would like to take a few questions from the audience. And I hope they will prove you wrong, Dr. Bhaskar. You have challenged them that after lunch there will be no questions. I hope you'll all prove Dr. Bhaskar wrong on this. So the floor is open to you. You have eminent panelists along with me who are really at the forefront of AI and tech adoption and its various usages. We'll be very happy to take a few questions. Maybe 3 questions to start with. Anybody? Sir. Sir, the mic will come to you.
Good evening. I have a question to Dr. Bhaskar.
Right away going around.
When you are talking about what extent we are using the AIs. So how do you differentiate when any person uses AI, up to what level of knowledge he should have to use the AI? Because when any person uses AI, he should have the knowledge of how rightly the AI should be used and what purpose he is using, right? How do you differentiate this?
Very good question, sir. Rather, in the earlier lecture by Professor Iyengar and also Professor Reddy, both of them mentioned about prompting, but I would rather say Yatha Raja Pratap Raja, right? So, how good a master you are is what really matters. So, unfortunately, again, what is happening today is all of us are depending a lot on AI for us to learn things, which is not a good way to do it. I should learn and then go to AI, either to correct me or guide me. So if I am a bad master, I'm only going to get bad outcome. So to your question, sir, you asked me, how will I judge? I may not be the best judge. There won't be anybody else who can judge your response. It has to be you who asked the question. If my question or prompt is very good, I'll get a wonderful answer. If my prompt is average, I'll get an average answer. If it is garbage, I'll get garbage, unfortunately.
Thank you.
And I think a good yardstick to use is saying that AI is a great slave, but a lousy master. Right? Use it as a slave, but put your mind onto it before forwarding it to somebody else, because it's your name and it's your reputation at stake. Right? Wonderful. Any other questions? Yes, please go ahead, sir.
I know from the future perspective, how do you prevent AI? I mean, this question can be answered anyone of you. How can you prevent AI to do any social biasing or ethics?
Social biasing? Oh. So, ma'am, maybe if we could get you and then kind of say, what should be the rail guards?
Okay, so preventing very tough question, because law generally comes in when something wrong takes place, though law supposed to also have preventive strategies. But yeah, I think some of the answers were on slides, so ethically using and then again accountability and all, as long as I'm using it carefully with due diligence and all is fine. But as I said, once things goes wrong, that's when the whole question of liability comes in. So that's when the law is in action. As of now, that is the current law framework. But of course, there are some basic principles of law which is always applicable to a scenario, be it AI-based or otherwise. Like A kills B. What is the liability of A is one question. And the other is when A uses a robot or an AI-based tool to kill B, what is the liability of the law? So I think the law is the same. So we should just apply to new scenarios that are coming up. So unfortunately, law doesn't deal much with preventive actions, but yeah, it's usually proactive.
Just an extension to what I
Sorry, reactive, not proactive. Yeah.
Just an extension to what I asked. Okay, we all know that AI are technically evolved. It self-learns with whatever data we give. So when a certain group of people or a community or anyone tries to use the AI more, do you think in that context sometimes that social bias can come? Okay, these set of people are trying to use the chat GPT or AI more, and machine will say that if someone else from some other group tries to use AI, it may not give the relevant answer. That is where I wanted to check in how AI can prevent that in future.
So are AI tools consciously auditing themselves, or the developers of AI tools auditing themselves and at least saying that I've been trained on this kind of data set and hence I could feel biased like this? So anything on that? Sorry, you can pass me here.
Probably pitch in, so I'll hand it over. Transformers today are doing a wonderful job with respect to regression learning and going back and learning themselves and coming up with better inputs. Again, prompt engineering is a big field which is growing. For all the students who are sitting here, if you want to really learn AI, prompt engineering is one area. Biases is a hard reality, right? So biases is based on how are we feeling, how are we training, and how are we extracting. So all three really matter. If you look at how ChatGPT was responding prior 2023, 2022 is when they launched, the first year we could see a significant bias on the Western data because they had limited access to the data, they had access only from the Microsoft data sets. If you look at their responses from 2023 onwards to 2025, there is a significant shift. It's very, very natural. So you can ask GPT to tell and respond the way you are thinking. And if it has analyzed the way you have been asking questions, the topics what you have been reading and your historical data, it will be very, very relevant to your data. So that's how it is evolved. But bias is something very, very real. We'll have to understand the bias. Like you mentioned, so if I'm a good master, I will be able to identify the bias. If I'm not a good master, I will miss that and probably believe too much on AI.
Just to add, if you just use two chatbots like as I said, ChatGPT and DeepSeek, ask one simple question: what is the military power of North Korea? Just ask one question. In one place, you will see North Korea listed as 11th power. In another place, it's 34th power. The military personnel, it says 7.7 million in one place. In one place, it says 1.3 million. See, they are pretty much biased. And this goes like, which is the good scientist in the world? You ask different models, they have different answers.
So I think on this use case, I have a suggestion. If anybody of you are planning to invade North Korea, rather than going with any tripods, there is a website called as Cipri.org. Cipri has the most authentic data on whatever are the defense trends that are happening. Please recheck there once before you decide to launch a strike on North
So
Korea.
just an extended answer to your question, what are we doing in healthcare? Because we work on a lot of healthcare data. Bias is something what we cannot really accept. We use ensemble. Brainsight also does the same thing. We use an ensemble approach wherein, like you rightly mentioned, we run the same data set across different models so that we look at which is the closest one, which is the most relevant one. Accordingly, take those grades and use them for our results.
Excellent. So just a shout out, please go visit brainsightai.com. Two amazing women, Laina Emanuel and Rinjim Agarwal, have built this fantastic tool of how we can look at a routine, available standard test output of the functional MRIs and unlock a lot of value. So I would encourage all the students to look at that as well.
I would love to see some questions from students.
Yes, yeah, the last bencher obviously I'm
raising their hand there in the last.
So there's a last bencher, can we please set the mic there? Come friend as well. Come friend please.
Any AIML students here? All AIML students don't want to raise your hands?
Maybe it is an early question for me to ask. It's still in progress because a lot of students are present here as the audience, and when you were asking the question how many are using it, most of the students were raising their hand. But what is that you could tell to the student in a nutshell, because you have discussed already starting with how reliable for their academics AI in the as on today 2025 December.
Okay, who wants to take Sir, when I went to do my MBA, the first few courses were all regular pen and paper exams and all of those things. Especially corporate finance was something that where we were tortured to death, where we could not understand why we applied the wrong formula. I thought we all got it. Right? I'll not tell how much we all scored in many of the tests, but go forward. We heard that there is this professor who gives an open book test. And we were all excited, we'll take it. So we bumped into the professor Monday and we said, sir, do you really give open book test? He said, yeah, the final exam is an open book exam. You sure you can definitely get the course books, but I would also suggest that you bring a holy book along with you, whichever religion you belong to, because none of these books will help you find the answer that I'm for the question that I've given you. It really involves applying a lot of these things together, and maybe your religious book may give you some guidance, right? So I think students will have to really take ChatGPT with a pinch of salt and understand that it will not be there always with you to help the same way that it helped you the last time around. The same AI engine will give you different answers at different points of time. So if you understand that, that's a very interesting thing. There's a lovely reel that's been made, and I think we live in the world of reels today, where it's about two young boy and girl who are using ChatGPT to coach them on how to get into a relationship with each other. And by the time they ask the third question, it says, your quota for today is over. So understand the limitations of where all these tools are. They can be a great buddy for you after you have studied to help you create that unit test. But if you start reading from AI and from any of the AI bot, I think you are in deep trouble. You don't know whether the bot has been trained on faulty data, or you don't know if it's hallucinating, or if it's just trying to do a good job. So until unless you can differentiate where your chatbot is on any given point of time, I don't think over-reliance on this is a good thing. Please use it as a buddy, but not as a guru. Your gurus are there in front of you. Please attend classes, read the textbooks, and go to verified content. And that will be a very useful thing rather than just thinking that ChatGPT will help me do my assignment better. Prerit, over to you.
Yeah, just to add, he made a very good point. The context in which your teachers are teaching will be exactly what you are supposed to know. Suppose somebody who asks what is radioactivity. The same question can be asked by a 6th grade student, the same question can be a researcher. So the answers will be just for everybody, right? So what is your level, what is your context? These things are very important when you are using AI. So if you are getting it, and definitely that's what your teachers are doing for you.
Thank you so
Small
much.
point before we
Very
go. Small point, because very good question. One of the studies in one of the UK universities which recently got published, it says that the cognitive capacity of students across the board from the past 5 years has reduced more than 30%. Which means with the dependence on technology, we have reduced our thinking capacity, which is very worrisome. Right? So what is going to happen as we move further? In a much worse state, when I get old, I'm already pretty old, but when I get very old, when I go to a doctor who's going to be a student now, 20 years from now, his cognitive capacity, I know today is 30% lesser than mine. 20 years from now, it might be 50% lesser than mine. Do I want to get treated by somebody who was trained by ChatGPT? Absolutely not. So that's where it is very, very important for us to listen to our teachers, depend on ChatGPT to enhance further. Don't learn from ChatGPT and try to enhance from your teacher.
Yes, ma'am, please.
So as I was also mentioning, one is we should remain to be the master and don't let the technology master the world. Because under your master is liable, the one who's using is liable. The data is not accurate, but you write a paper with inaccuracy, you are responsible. And this is what even UGC circular says. So any pirated paper, it's not as per UGC requirements. And when I say piracy, it's also to the AI-based contents. Secondly, there are few incidences where even lawyers using AI ended up giving wrong submissions before the courts. So even the cases they were quoting have turned out to be inaccurate. So I think at the end of the day, we should check whether the data is accurate or not before you use it under your authorship. So that's one thing. And secondly, about youngsters depending on this and losing their cognitive thinking ability. One example, I recently was talking to an 18-year-old girl from UK. This becomes so much dependent on this technology. She was saying, I hate spiders, and one day in my room I saw a spider. I didn't know what to do, so I asked Google, how do I catch it? So then this entire 2 hours she's only on Google just trying to figure out how to get rid of that spider. Now these are things we just learn on our own. I think that extent of technology means that it is mastering over you, which should not happen. So I think
I just want to add about this AI and getting the right answer. How you are thinking our AI for tomorrow, what we are talking, is going to help. I think students' role will be very much important if they are thinking that whatever AI should say should be at least matching to their requirement. You have to train AI yourself. You don't have to get trained from AI. And for that, you need to do a lot of project-based learning. If you are going to do project-based learning, getting the problem which is really needed in society, if you are collecting those kind of problems from the society, that is two ways of collecting the problem. One is every day you start from home, seeing the problems around you, and if you can convert those problems into task into project into a national program, I think that will be a great achievement. And then you work accordingly. When you start working and put AI together and see what is the result, then you can get really the outcome is matching as per the expectation of the society or what you have expected through the project-based learning. I think you can train really good AI. Another way is that choose your dream, what kind of company you want to go. Make a group of students and go and visit to that company. I think some of the students visited to Art Park. I talked about this, why you have come to Art Park, what you want to know. Again, I am repeating here, choose your dream, which company you want to know, read about that company, make a task force and visit to that company, keep visiting. Ask your teacher, they will provide you all the opportunity to visit. And go and see what kind of work they are doing. And then apply your own AI, whatever intelligence, not AI, to see how you can increase their growth. How you can put some idea what the process they are using so that they will be benefited. Okay, have a cup of tea with them whenever you have time with those company or those society, wherever you want to work or what kind of work you are doing. I think that kind of data what you will generate will be matching and matchmaking kind of data, and train your device or train your computer to answer in such a way what you want. I think future AI, whatever will be there, will be really good AI, and it will help to the society as well as the scientific and science and technology growth in the country. I think that way you have to create your skill. I'm just merely talking to the student. I think you need to take forward. You are the expert for making AI, not the AI is the expert for making you. AI can get just idea of 100 people, tell you something best, whatever they think, after analyzing. But what you want, you can train your own AI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and on that such wonderful note, I think we can wrap it. I know there are many more questions, and Bhaskar, the audience rightly proved you wrong that after lunch also there could be questions. Thank you all very much. Dr. Rohit has a question. Sir, please come.
The question is for Dr. Bhaskar. Sir, if robotic surgeries are efficient, what is lacking in human beings? Because humans are the one who created robotic surgery. If it is too efficient, if it is not so, right? So, what is the other way of that?
I guess this is a question that needs to be answered by engineers, not by doctors. I'll tell you why. So all the way from the time we started treating anybody, from the time of Sushruta till date, the only agenda has been how can treatment be made better. Right? So healthcare is always how can I better the outcome of my treatment. So that's where you have seen surgery moving from open surgeries without anesthesia, which used to happen before 1950s, to date where robotic surgeries have come in. Robotics, we say, is way better than open surgeries is because your recovery time is much shorter. There is no other difference, as a matter of fact. If I'm a very good surgeon, I can promise and say the outcome will be the same. But the patient may have to stay 3 days more because you have made a larger wound on the patient which has to heal. You have to maintain aseptic precautions, give a lot more medication. Since it's robotic, you cut little very less, and precision is so good. That's why I said it's an engineering question rather than a medical question. If your robotic precision is so very well, like laser does, then I'm not going to cut too much. There is not much of bleeding, there is not much of open wounds. Infection is going to be so much lesser, I can deliver better outcome. That's all it is. It's fairly engineering solution, not a medical solution. A doctor who is very good surgeon can do equally good job in treating, but outcome matters as an overall health, where engineering is really, really important. That's the answer. Depends on how affordable we are. So, absolutely depends only on affordability, and if you are okay to stay in the hospital for 3 more days. So, if I can pay, for example, an open surgery, simple thing like appendicectomy, which is very, very common, right? Appendicitis happens to a lot of people. An MBBS doctor who was trained particularly is my batch doctor. This batch doctor can learn on ChatGPT, don't trust him. So we all can comfortably do an appendix surgery on a table, open it, do it in and out in 20 minutes straight. Done. We put a 4-inch incision for an appendicectomy. If you go to laparoscopy, it's a 1-inch into 3 incisions, 3 different spots. It's easier. Robotics, it's much shorter, 2 incisions. So that is the difference. We are the same doctors removing the same appendix. Smaller the incision, cost is more, technology is more. So, or if you invent a robot which costs me not 10-15 crores like a Da Vinci, like a 1 crore, it will come up to equivalent cost of an open surgery. Then everybody can afford and go for robotics itself. Talk to the engineers to invent a cheaper robot.
Thank you so much, and I think you have the project work lined up for all your students. Make a cheaper robot and use AI better. Thank you very much, all the wonderful panelists.
We can host them at Art Park.
There you go. So a right pitch at the right time. You also have incubation opportunity being offered at Art Park. Don't miss this opportunity. Thank you all very much. It's been a delight talking to all of you. Over to you.
We extend our sincere thanks to all our esteemed panelists for an engaging and insightful discussion on the challenges and the opportunities in artificial intelligence. So, dear panelists, your rich perspectives on innovation, ethics, and real-world applications have truly deepened our understanding. The clarity and vision you have shared will undoubtedly inspire future learning and collaboration. We are definitely grateful for your time, wisdom, and gracious presence today. So, dear audience, please give a big round of applause. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone. So now, please be seated in the dance. Yes, we have come to the end of the throughout the day event valedictory function. Respected principal sir and respected panelists, and all the dignitaries, faculty members, dear participants and students, it's my honor to formally welcome you all to the valedictory function of the Pre-AI Summit. So now, I'm privileged to have with us our esteemed and highly respected principal sir, Dr. Tippeswamy sir. So please welcome you on the dais. I would also like to request the Chief Coordinator, Pre-AI Summit, Head of the Department of AI and ML, Dr. Lohit JJ, to have his gracious presence on the dais. Yes, that was a great day. I hope it was the most valuable day and we had a lot of insights. Before we proceed to the next certificate distribution, so I'd like to invite a few of our excellent participants to kindly share their valuable feedback and the learning experience from this Pre-AI Summit. Anyone please? Yes, please sir.
Yeah, I earned my eligibility to speak on AI because two of the authors who wrote books on AI gave me the books. Shalini Kapoor, who is a technical head of AWS. I think some of the learned scholars know that from faculty as well. And none other than Eric Schmidt and Henry Kissinger also wrote books on AI. And since it's just a pre-AI summit, topics like explainable AI or AI, artificial super intelligence or other generic intelligence have not been elaborated. But what I really appreciate is right from the first moment, the discussion was focused on human aspects, and then especially one who is not here now in her absence here, COO of the institution highlighted that human aspects, just taking care of environment and then keeping human interest in the front. They are getting carried away by the AI, which should be the focus. And there is also clarification given by all the, including doctor. My daughter is also a doctor. I found her reading a book on AI in dermatology. There's a nice book. Even I read that. So a lot of doctors are, just like you, are getting excited about AI and they're helping in collaborative research. Yeah. So I want to conclude that this pre-AI summit has been quite meaningful, and the TANC organizers were also taking care of logistics to all the attendees and also the hospitality. And I wish good luck for the real AI summit in New Delhi. God bless.
Thank you so much, sir. So anyway, because due to time constraints, so we are rushing. Anyway, yeah, please, sir.
Good evening, everybody. So I would like to say very few sentences about this summit. I am quite update. I am learning AI. So this summit when I was invited by our principal, Swami sir, I came here and I learned a lot of things here. And it was immense pleasure to meet Dr. S.S. Iyengar, who is the father of AI, say. So that was an immense pleasure. And after all the discussions during this panel, the questions and answers, it gave me a full of insights where I can, it enhances, it triggering my learning enthusiasm on AI. This is the wonderful thing I learned today. Thank you so much for this summit. And all the organizers and the logistics and the other administrative arrangements, everything done by this NCET organization is really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. So we'll just move on due to time constraint. So now we'll be having a certificate distribution for the external participants. We'll now move on, and I request the moderator, Professor Sridhar Kovisheti, to just present the certificates to the external certificates. Mr. Mohammad Ashif is there. Could you please come forward? Is Ms. Priyanka TV? Ms. Priyanka TV? Mrs. Vijayalakshmi Srinivas? Thank you. Thank you, sir. So now I would like to request the panelists, Mr. Preet Chandra, to issue the certificates. Dr. Flight Kishore, sir. Meral Tripti. Mr. Shantakumar Gangadhar. So now I would like to request Dr. Nagratna ma'am to issue the certificates. Mr. Sandeep Sanapuji, please come forward. Ms. Ashwin, Mr. Ashwin Asquina, Mrs. Srivastava sir to issue the certificates. Mr. Narayan, Mr. Madan Gowda, Mr. H. Sharat Gowda. Now, I would like to request Dr. Bhaskar Rajkumar sir to issue the certificates. Please come forward, Ms. Namrita. Are you there, Ms. Namrita? PG Himabindu. PG Himabindu. Thank you. Yes, there is a note for the internal participants, a gentle announcement. The internal participants are requested to kindly collect the certificate on coming Monday from the department, from their respective department. So with this, we formally conclude the valedictory session of the Pre-AI Summit. So thank you all for your the participation. So now I would like to invite Dr. Rashmi Karchi ma'am to give a vote of thanks.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruvena. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Dr. Rashmi Karchi, Professor AIML Department, take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks on this occasion of AI Pre-Summit 2026. So, first and foremost, I would like to thank MEITY, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology of India, AICT, All India Council for Technical Education, India AI Impact Summit 2025, and the whole NGR management for their continuous support. And for this afternoon session, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our panelist members, Professor Sridhar Pabbishetty sir, for their valuable information and sharing their knowledge with us. Now I request Principal sir, Sridhar Pabbishetty sir. So I request Principal sir to hand over the memento to Pabbishetty sir. Now we would like to thank Dr. Sanjeev Srivastava sir for their valuable suggestions, information and sharing their knowledge with us. And I request Principal sir to hand over a memento as a token of love and respect. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to thank Dr. Nagratna Madam for their valuable informative session for this particular session. And I request our Principal sir to hand over the moment. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to thank Dr. Bhaskar Rajkumar sir for their valuable suggestions, knowledge. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to thank Mr. Prerit Chandra sir for sharing their knowledge with us. Thank you, sir. And just to make a gist of their discussion, Bhaskar Rajkumar sir has viewed AI as a mirror of reflecting intellect, values and fears, whereas other members have viewed the AI on evolution like they see AI as another step in the evolution of automation that has historically improved the quality of our life. So provided condition that it has been done with ethically it has been done. So thank you so much for your valuable suggestions and information and sharing with the whole team over here. Now, our director sir, principal sir, HODs, deans and faculty members from the various departments for their valuable time and being patiently hearing over here. Thank you so much. And also I thank the participants from the industries and different academia. Thank you for them for attending this wonderful session. Now, I would like to acknowledge our honest thanks or gratitude for the efforts that our organizing team has done with respect to all the faculty members and the student volunteers. Thank you so much. And also I would like to take in the absence of the press and media for their support. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, ma'am, for that crisp and sweet vote of thanks. Yes, now I'd like to request the audience to please give a standing ovation for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
बोलो भारत माता की
जय।
बोलो भारत माता की जय।
మహేష్ ఇప్పుడు ఎన్నో ఆడియన్స్ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ ఇవ్వాలి అయిపోయింది